What up? I said, what up? This is actually the season, the show, everything that I've been waiting for. Yes, I'm doing the Power reviews also. Power is a good show, but I stand behind these words. Game of Thrones is the best show that I ever seen, the best series I've ever seen in my life, period. And I stand behind it 100%. So let's get into the recap. Please be careful for spoilers and don't spoil it for anybody in the comments. But I want you guys in the comments so we can interact. I always reply to comments. Keep that in mind. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to share the video. And don't forget to subscribe because I will try to do all 8 weeks of reviews. 8 weeks of Game of Thrones. Oh, man. That's not good. That's not good. The first episode was great. Arya started it off like a boss. When the show starts, I'm watching it I'm like, is this a flashback or something? It has Walder Frey, he's alive and he's giving this feast. And I'm like, what's going on here? Until he tells everybody drink their wine and then he goes like this and then he pauses and look around. I'm like, oh, this isn't a flashback. This is Arya being a beast. Then everybody starts choking and dying. She looks at the girl and says, tell them the North remembers. I said, oh man, this season is gonna be the shit. Right after that, they cut to a scene. They got the Night's King, his whole army walking to the wall in the snow and in the dark. I'm like, how can you forget about the White Walkers, Jive? How can you forget? But this is the thing. They showed this scene a billion times of them walking to the wall, but this time they have 3 giants with them. I have no clue how they got the giants. I would have thought they would have burnt them at all the wars. The one that ran into the castle after Ramsay and got all the arrows and got the 1 arrow in his eye, I would have thought Jon would have burnt him, but they got 3 giants, neither here nor there. I don't know how they got them, but they have 3 giants. That's gonna be a big problem. Mira and Brandon Stark made it to Castle Black. They open the gates. They don't know who they are. They think they're wildlings because they got the coats and stuff on. They're like, who are you? And then she's like, yo, that's Ned Stark's son, Brandon Stark. And he's like, huh? How do we know it's true? And then he gave him a synopsis of Hardhome, etc. And he was like, oh, wow. All right, let him in. And the funny thing is, I know they're going to talk about how you missed your brother and Jon Snow. I wonder if he's going to tell him that Jon Snow is his cousin and not his brother, and he's more powerful than you thought. He's a Stark and a Targaryen. Wow. Jon Snow and Sansa Stark bump heads for the first time. We all knew this was coming. Sansa didn't want the Umbers and the Karstarks to maintain their castles because of what their brothers did. They fought in a war against Jon Snow for Ramsay, but Jon was stern on his decision of letting them have their homes back. I think that was the right decision also, but Littlefinger is just sitting there in the background, letting it all sink in, and he's loving it. I'm sure he's gonna say, Jon doesn't respect you, and she's gonna believe it just like gullible Sansa she is. But let's see how this plays out. We all know how it's gonna play out, but let's see when. Sam, good old pudgy little Sam, is studying to be a maester, and he's also being a flunky, just like he always is. He's changing their stool and their piss and throw up and all types of gross stuff. That's his job. But he came up with some big information for Jon Snow. But he said he was gonna send Jon a raven telling him where the dragon glass is. Where is the dragon glass? Is it at Dragonstone? Euron Greyjoy made it to King's Landing. He wanted to talk to Cersei Lannister. If you didn't know, Cersei Lannister is now the queen of the 7 kingdoms. But like Jaime Lannister told her, 3 at best, because everybody turned on the Lannisters basically. But he's trying to marry Cersei Lannister. Jaime doesn't like that, And when Cersei was explaining it to Jaime, he's looking for a queen, Jaime didn't like that. But the King's Guards, they're wearing like all black now. They look like total savages now. It looks crazy. She turned down his offer. He said he's going to get her a gift and he won't return until he has that gift. I don't know what he's talking about. Do you guys know what this gift is? But I'm positive he's gonna return with this gift. We'll just have to see how this plays out. Daenerys, Tyrion, and Lord Varys pulls up and dock their ships at Dragonstone. I mean, how convenient. The mother of dragons. Tyrion might be a Targaryen. And they dock at a place called Dragonstone, which has dragons carved into the walls. When she walked into the war planning room, I said to myself, that's where Stannis was. Wow. And she said one thing to Tyrion. When do we start?
Tyrion, Lannister, Tyrion, Lannister, Tyrion. My name's Tyrion Lannister, where should I begin? Always hated by Cersei and always hated by Tywin. But I use my brain, reading is my thing. Little dude, but I'm gonna win. Lady of the Vale tried to get me killed, but this story never gonna end. My nephew was an asshole, they should've never put him on the throne. But when Stannis and his army came, I couldn't let that dude take my home. My sister tried to get me killed, face slashed.